Hello YouTube, welcome back to the Not Even French channel. Today I've got some pretty funny points on the signs where you know for sure that you're dating a Frenchman or maybe dating a French woman. If you love this kind of stuff around bicultural dating and whatnot, I actually have a whole series on these kinds of videos. I have the things that I wish I had known before dating a Frenchman. I've got the signs that you're living with a Frenchman and more kind of stuff like that. So if this kind of thing floats your boat, check out my description box and I'll link those down below for you down there. Otherwise, let's get into the following points where you know for sure that you're either dating someone who identifies as French nationality or is just French in their soul. Okay, so the first point where you know for sure that you are indeed dating a Frenchman is that eating happens at the table. You do not have breakfast in bed. No. You do not eat your dinner on the couch watching TV. You do not eat your food on the run. You do not eat your food in the car. You get the point. Food is not allowed in other parts of the house. Definitely not the bedroom. I used to think that having things like a breakfast in bed was a very romantic thing to prepare for my partner until I realized that it was kind of their worst nightmare because it would actually leave crumbs in the sheets, which would just be the end of the earth apparently. Oh, and speaking of eating, you may also notice that they use a knife and fork to eat anything like in front of you. You feel like it's a formal dining experience. Like while we're at home together, alone, no one's watching, my partner will eat a burger with a knife and fork. I'm not joking. Another sign is that they follow the news and they follow politics almost religiously. Like reading the newspaper every single day, watching the evening news, just keeping up to date with all of the current events and the going-ons, and especially being able to engage in a full-on political debate is so important in France, and it's so inherent to the French DNA. So it's definitely something that you should either get into yourself or, you know, accept that you're going to hear about quite a lot. I think having this ritual is a really awesome thing because it means that you're really like woke, so to speak. I mean, you're up to date with what's going on and you're being a good global citizen, right? And what you may even realize is that the French person you're with knows more about the politics and what's going on in your own country than you do. Another point that I wanted to add about dating a Frenchman, and maybe I just got lucky, but I feel like they're really good around the house. I feel like they're very proactive with cleaning, with, you know, helping set the table, washing up, cooking. It's definitely like a nice balanced thing going on. I haven't really met a friend who has a slobby French boyfriend or husband, you know, who's just an absolute mess, leaving crap everywhere. They tend to be very disciplined around the house, even, I mean, for me a bit too much because I'm more so the messy one. I feel like there's definitely something around, like they were brought up to help around the house and they were brought up to be really clean and tidy, and that makes it really easy to live with them. Another sign that you may indeed be with a French person is if they get cold very easily. You'll often hear like, oh, j'ai froid. And it's like they're very scared of what they call the courant d'air, the air currents, you know, so you'll close those windows and you don't want to have AC running because with AC, you know, that could be cold and you'll catch a cold. This is the common belief, you'll catch a cold if the AC's running or if there's a strong breeze or this kind of thing. And what I've noticed is that whenever we're driving in the car with my partner and my friends have the AC on, he'll be like, can you turn the AC down? I'm cold. They're just not used to having air conditioning or drafts, I guess, like drafts of air coming through in their life. This isn't necessarily my partner, but definitely I've seen colleagues say this, that they think, you know, that their necks get sore because there was, you know, a window open and they could feel an air current coming in the day before, and they're like, oh, ooh, j'ai un torticolis là, like I have a sore neck, and you're like, oh, what happened? You know, did you sprain it playing basketball or something? It's like, no, you know, a breeze came in on my neck yesterday. Another sign is that, this is their definition of not having dinner. For example, like, oh, I'm not going to have dinner tonight, I'm not so hungry. They'll have baguette, cheese, meat, saucisson, that kind of thing, maybe even some pâté, and maybe even a little bit of salad. And you're like, that is a large amount of food. That is an extensive portion of food. But that's like, because it's not a real dinner, you know, like a casserole or chicken or something like that. I mean, that's their idea of like not having dinner. Oh, and you can't forget the fruit and yogurt for dessert as well. always got to have fruit and yogurt for dessert. Another thing about dating a French person is that, this is super cute, like everything is spicy. like plain minced nachos with some sour cream and guacamole on corn chips is spicy. It's so cute. It also means you have to go through the embarrassment for the rest of your life when you go to an Indian restaurant and they order butter chicken and then they get asked about which spice level they'd like, and you're expecting them to say, oh, you know, mild, but they say, oh, like none. No, 0 spice. Another sign that you may be dating a Frenchman is that nothing can shock them. Like nothing makes them say, oh my gosh, that's incredible. Really? No way. You'll tell them the most outrageous story. Like the amount of times I've come out and be like, you will never believe what happened. And you talk about this outlandish scenario, all these crazy characters coming in, and they're just like, of course. Nothing can push them over the edge. I mean, nothing will get them rallied up, so to speak. I mean, unless they're getting angry because they're like debating something, or it's like a new political thing coming in, or that kind of thing. But getting them really passionate and engaged and like animated about surprising things or about positive things, you may be waiting for a while. Another interesting thing about dating a Frenchman is that they'll actually notice changes in your hair, changes in what you're wearing. They're actually sort of informed enough to be able to comment on what you're wearing and how well it fits your body shape. Like they'll actually make a compliment and be like, that's a really nice neckline on you. It really brings out your shoulders. And you're like, are you my gay best friend right now? It's actually kind of awesome. This one's for all of my expat women dating Frenchmen in their late 20s, early 30s. You know you're dating a Frenchman when he's more than happy to have a child with you, but getting married? No thanks. Another thing about dating a Frenchman, which is quite funny, are their ridiculous pet names that they can have for you. It's really cute because you're often called petite something, like ma petite pouce, or this kind of thing, like my little flea, which is kind of gross. The pet names, when they're literally translated, you can be a cabbage, you can be a flea, you can be a rabbit. Actually, there are lots of different animals that you can be. But it's really sweet because instead of just like babe or whatever, it's like mon amour, mon ange, like my love, my angel. Another really popular one is mon cœur, my heart. That's really sweet, this kind of thing. I'm not saying that I get called any of these things because my partner likes to be nice and original and come up with super weird pet names for me. Another thing about dating Frenchmen is that they're not afraid of PDA, public displays of affection, and this can be true even in front of their family members, like that awkward moment where you're in the kitchen and your partner gives you a little slap on the ass in front of their mum. Just slightly awkward, but yeah. On the streets in front of strangers, like very affectionate, lots of kisses, lots of cuddles and stuff. But it's really sweet because that kind of stuff is always really open and really passionate, which is nice. Cool guys, so I hope you enjoyed this video. Did I miss anything? Let me know down below. Are you with a French man or woman? And what are the things that you think are so typically French? I would love to hear from you. Let me know in the comments down below. And otherwise, let me know if any of these kind of surprised you, because I assume that these are kind of shared characteristics, but sometimes, hey, maybe it's just the one I've got. I will see you guys next video Wednesday on the Not Even French channel. Bisous and à bientôt!